was an enriching one. I know we got into discussion, and maybe there are a few things we did not discuss, we did not finish to discuss. Today we are going for maybe 2 hours, or maybe a few minutes, maybe 2 hours plus some few minutes. Today I want us to talk about other things that are related to scientific writing and publishing, and mostly we are talking about open access, basically open science, not open access, but open science, and the other emerging issues and trends that you need to know in the publishing industry. I think it would be important for us to get to know some of this. And I will not have so many presentations today. Most of them will be demonstrations where I will be showing you specific sites where you can get specific information, just how to move yourself around the publishing industry. And one of the things that I want to really start with is how to make your research, or how to enhance the visibility of your work. As a researcher, I know most of us are doing a lot of research and publishing papers, and even if you have not, then we are headed there. We will start publishing papers, we will start giving talks, and we'll start doing all these things. But then, do we know how to make our work visible, and do we know how to get credit for the work that we do? That will be the first part. The second part will be 2 tools. One will be Dimensions AI, where I will show you how that is a powerful database where you can get, papers, you can get grant information, you can get information on data sets, and also policy documents, and also clinical trials. We'll see that. And then I will also show you how to use Scholastic, which is an AI tool that helps you summarize research papers without having to read them word by word. So we have quite a bit of a day ahead of us, but not to worry. It's not, I'm going to demonstrate so that you get to see how you can use this tool. So to start us off, I want to show you some of the platforms where, as a researcher, you need to be present. You need to be present on certain platforms. I know some of you are already on those platforms, but those who are not there, make sure that after this session, even if you have published a paper or not, you make sure you create a site on those platforms, so that just to make your work visible. You remember yesterday I said that credit goes to the one who convinces the world first, not the one to whom the idea first occurs. So you need to, as you do your work, you need your work to be visible, and you need your work to be out there so that other people can be able to see it. The other side, also, sometimes when people do, I know there are peer reviewers here. There are people who have done peer review for journals, and also, but then peer review has been, voluntary work where people have been just doing peer review, and no one pays them, or no one even, acknowledges their efforts. So I want to show you 2 platforms where these days you can even convert your peer review credits into money and get money out of it. And you can get credentials, and you can get accredited and recognized for them. So without too many words, they say too many words do not fill a basket. So I will look for my presentation just to be sure. Let me just get it, and then I will share so that we get to understand what I'm saying here. I know some of you are already conversant with some of this, but I realize that some researchers are just doing research, but they don't know that they can still make their work visible out there by, registering and being available on certain platforms. So that is why I prepared this short presentation. We always do it at TCC. Ours is to open your eyes to what is happening, what is trending in the publishing industry, so that you don't say that you don't know some of these things. So let me just share so that you can be able to be on the same page with me. Okay, let me know when my screen is visible to all of us. So we are talking about research and researcher visibility. So how do you make your research visible, and how do you stay visible as a researcher? As a researcher, you are building 2 brands. You are building yourself as a professional, but you are also building yourself as a person. So your visibility, especially in the era of internet, is very important. How will people know what you are doing? And to start us off, I want just to show you the power of visibility. If you can read what is on the screen, I've been posting about what I do, my research, my work in the aquaculture space, and just also in scientific writing and communication, basically what I do. And someone saw this on the internet, and just out of that, we got a consultancy, and we were paid some good money out of this consultancy. So this is just to show you that putting out there what you do can make your work more visible, and this can even lead to you getting some things out of it. So this is out of a post that this is out of the posts that I've been posting on LinkedIn, and this was around the Corona time. So in fact, ultimately, we went to Malaysia to the World Fish Center, which was just a dream for me. I've been reading about the gift tilapia that we are now doing that is doing so well in West Africa, and I was thinking of if one day I would go to World Fish Center where this fish was developed or where this fish was engineered. And I finally went there just because of this consultancy that I got courtesy of my postings on LinkedIn. So this is basically just to tell you that you need to stay visible and make your work visible. We all have different personalities, so we cannot say that all of us have to be everywhere posting everything, and that is not even what I'm insinuating here. What I'm insinuating is that even if you publish papers, put just a link to that paper on LinkedIn. You never know who could be interested in working with you, or maybe you would be interested in what you are doing. So just say, okay, we have published a new paper. If you want to read it, just follow this link. Then put a link there, or write just some basic summary about your paper and post it. So I do that quite a bit. I do it on Twitter these days. They call it X. I do it there. I do it on Facebook, and I also do it on LinkedIn. And for context, we even have a TikTok account where we talk to people about scientific writing and publishing, and this is run by TCC Africa and Writing Hub Africa. So I think visibility is very important. You could be doing a lot of work and people don't know what you're doing because you're not visible, you're not making use of this platform. So that is one thing that I wanted to bring to your attention. We need to talk about the H index. So basically, I'm not going into a lot of things because what happens is this is a very controversial way of measuring a researcher's impact, because somebody would say that in my field, you cannot publish as many papers as somebody in a different field. So if you want to compare our influence based on H index, then you are being unfair. But H index is just your influence in your specific field. So I always want to look at it as a field-based kind of super field. So you cannot compare somebody maybe in the field of business against somebody in the field of engineering. If you want to, if you want to compare their H index in terms of the publications and citations, that could be a bit difficult because maybe there are certain fields that do not attract a lot of publications and stuff like this. But I just want to bring to your attention that as you put your work out there, more people will get to see it, more people will get to download, read, and cite your work, and this will help increase your H index. I got a training through TCC Africa. Now I was part of the team that was training young editors for Kabi, and that was because we were told you needed to have had an H index on Google Scholar that is 13 and above. So that is just to tell you that so many organizations and maybe research or these publishing houses are still looking at this H index to gauge your influence and your level of influence as a researcher. So let's think about some of these things. And if you're not on Google Scholar, because most of the time people will, even in the university, sometimes there are universities that will insist that you put your works on Google Scholar. You have to be here so that they gauge how many citations you have, what you are doing so far. So basically, you might need to be here so that you get to this H index indices and other things might be able to be visible to the people out there. If you're not on these platforms, it becomes a bit tricky for you to convince people that you are doing something. So just create a Google Scholar account, even if you only have one publication. Just create it and let it be out there. The good thing is, once you create this, then as you do your publications, most of them will just be collected and pulled into your Google Scholar profile, so people will be able to see your work and download. So basically that is what I meant there. Then you also need to register with Web of Science because this also, of course, gives you your citation. It's also a citation database. So this was guided by the legacy of this guy called Eugene Garfield. So I think this is part of what formed the current day Clarivate Analytics. So basically, these are places where you register and then you get your researcher ID. Researcher ID is a unique identifier that is only unique to you. So sometimes you find authors have same names. So you have Jane Awino or Jane Mukami, and maybe they're in the same field and they are published papers, and somebody would come and say that paper belongs to them. So when you have a unique ID, as you submit your paper, you submit it with that unique ID. So when there is a contestation over the ownership of that paper, then you can easily say, okay, when I publish this paper, this is the ID that I used when submitting the paper. So let's confirm this paper it is. So register on these platforms. And then what happens when you become a peer reviewer? Because peer review has been for a long time just people reviewing and nobody recognizes even your efforts, because peer review should be, it's part of scholarly works. It's part of you contributing to science or contributing to research. So you should be recognized. And that is why now we have Pablons where you can register on Pablons, and you will be able to, I'll show you all of this one by one after this presentation so that you also get to understand where they are and how you can get there. And now Pablons is where you are now turning your peer review into a measurable research output. I will show you how that is done, but then you need to go and register on Pablons so that every time you do a peer review, you claim it and register it there. And then this goes into your credentials as a peer reviewer. So basically, this is what I can show you out of my Pablons profile. So it brings out the total documents, of course, publications that are indexed in Web of Science, the number of the verified peer reviews. So the total peer reviews that you've done that can be verified by Pablons, but they also still go ahead, of course, and give you this the articles that have cited you and all that. So Pablons is a place where you can easily, and then of course, this is just a recognition for some peer review that I did. Then also, when you become a peer reviewer, you can now also register with reviewer credits. And for reviewer credits, you can be earning from your review, from your credits. I will show you this, but you just when you create a profile out of reviewer profile, reviewer credit, you create a profile and you will be able to, let me just show you this one very quick. Let me just open it. When you create a profile on reviewer on reviewer profiles on reviewer credits, then you are able to convert your public or your review into credits, and you can even download a certificate to show that you are actually a peer reviewer. When people start doubting, you tell them, okay, I can show you my certificate to show that I'm a peer reviewer and the number of papers I have reviewed. So basically, this is my reviewer credit profile. So there are so many other things, but I just want you to come and register here. So every time you do a peer review, you can be able to claim that review and put it here. So you get credits for it. I have only registered 4 here. I've done quite a bit, but I've registered only 4. I'll keep reviewing, registering. But then the good thing with this is you can convert, when you get all your credits, you can easily convert those credits into money and you can claim them back. And the good thing also here is where you can also download your certificates. And once you download your certificate, you can be able to just show it's a very nice certificate that you can easily be able to, it's a nice certificate. So if you're applying for a job, for example, or if you're applying for a position as a researcher or as a reviewer or as something, and those are some of the certificates you can always, attach, and just to show that indeed I am a peer reviewer and I have this to show. Apart from, of course, the certificates that you can be getting from the respective journals that you review for. So when you review for a journal, it would also be a good thing that you ask them to give you a certificate or something to show. Let me just show you just so that you just see what it looks like. I just want to show you one of these. There are several. I just want to show you one of these certificates so that you see what it looks like, and you can easily come and register on your credit so that every time you do a review, you can be able to claim that. Let me just open it now here and show you what it looks like. Okay, this one here. So I will stop sharing this screen and I'll then share the certificate that I have just downloaded so that you also get to see. So this is what the certificate looks like. So you can easily, once you download it, it shows everything, all the reviews that you've done, all this. So you can easily just, once you register the peer review, the reviews that you've done. The good thing is, once if you register a review on this platform, they will have to verify with the journal whether you actually reviewed that paper or not. If you did, then they will put it on your credit. If you did not, then that one is not going to be counted. So you can easily register. You can even claim the ones that you had reviewed long time ago and just make sure that you have the ID of the paper and all the DOI of that. They can easily contact the journal and confirm if you indeed you reviewed for them, and then they will put this under your name and you will now get your credit, and it will be added to your certificate. So you can easily download this and submit. You never know where this can set you apart, especially when some of these things are on the line. So I'll go back to my presentation. That was just showing you where we are, how you can create a profile there. Oh, sorry. Okay, then the other one is what we call ORCID. I know most of us know about this as researchers. This one is Open Researcher and Contributor ID. So this one is a unique identifier also for you as a researcher, because sometimes you're publishing papers, and depending on the nature of the instructions from the journal, some journals will tell you to write Nicholas Otieno or Outa. Some journals will tell you to write Outa or Nicholas. Some of them will tell you to write NO, that one. But then how do we put all this into one unique identifier that now disambiguates all your names? So it means that if most journals will always these days ask you for this ORCID ID, because then when you submit with this, regardless of how your name appears on that on that paper, it can still be traced back to your specific ID. So this one is a unique identifier for all researchers, and basically it's almost like your online CV, your online professional CV, because it captures the talks that you have done, it captures almost everything that you have done, and it's easier for you now to even just share this link with somebody, and they will get to know what you have been up to. Let me just show you also just this one very fast so that you also get to appreciate what it looks like. I will just show this here. Okay. You just come and type ORCID, and then when you click on the first one, if you have registered, then fine. If not, then you can register. It's a very simple thing. You just register, and once you register, you can easily now be having all. So you see, I have all this. So this is what it looks like. So I have my unique identifier, which is here. There is no any other scholar in the world with this identifier. So it means that if I submit this to a journal, if we are contesting authorship, then somebody would say, okay, your ORCID is the one that was used. This is the ORCID that we have that was used during the submission. I have the employment history, for example. You have your educational qualifications, then professional activities. You have, if you have done any funding, then you can, if you have attracted any funding, you can also add. And then now your publications. It has all of them. Mine are, I think, around 60 something. So it has everything. It picks every single publication that you have. So this is also a very nice one. Apart from the fact that it collects everything in one place, it also disambiguates your names. So regardless of how your name appears on a paper, ORCID will now still harmonize all that, and you still will be able to Are you, are you still able to see my screen?
No.
No.
Okay. Let me look for the presentation again. I think I lost it somewhere here. Okay, it's here. I got it. Okay, I'll run it down to the page where I was so that I also don't waste a lot of time up here. So I've just shown you how to use the ORCID and how you can search and go and create an account there. Then the other one is ResearchGate. I know most of us on ResearchGate. ResearchGate is pretty much like like a social networking site for scientists and researchers. So here we can share papers, ask questions. So also just try. These are free spaces. Nobody's restricting you. Why would you not be on them? So it also just, puts a bit of some records out there. You never know. It's about networking, and you never know who will see your work on any of these platforms and get interested in working with you. So be on as many platforms as possible. I know what I'm saying because sometimes when people are applying for consultancy, so they are applying for projects and they're looking for people to work with, they go on some of these platforms and just check, can I find somebody in the field of medicine? Can I find somebody in the field of social sciences? Can I find an economist? And what have they done before? So they just go on these platforms, and you never know who will see, who will be interested in what you do, and approach you for potential partnership. The other one is academia. Academia.edu is also a platform where you can create an account because it also does analytics and also does the number of reads, the number of downloads, all that. Those ones I'm not really going to demonstrate because these are very simple and those are things you know. Then we also have, of course, social media platforms. So we use Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, which is now X. I have already talked about how powerful these ones are. So once you do your publication, or if you are working on a project or you are doing a consultancy and you would want the world of people to know what you are doing, just put something out there. It might not be all the details. You don't have to put every single detail about that project if people are not comfortable with it. But once in a while, you can be throwing in. It might not be very detailed, but you could be talking about we are currently working with the women in this community to provide sanitation and stuff like this, and we are trying to find out whether this would have a link on their livelihoods. Just try to write something about what you are currently working on so that people are up to date with the research activities you are doing, even if you're not providing too much detail. Just put something out there. It could be just maybe a photo of you maybe working in a lab, as long as, of course, you don't post people's photos and images without their consent, because that can also always bring some issues. I think you take photos of people in the field when you are doing key informant interviews or when you are collecting your data and then you post them online without their consent, somebody can sue you. So if you are going to post anything online that has somebody's details or information of their house or their property or their images, ask them. I'm doing research. I have taken a few photos here. Are you comfortable with me posting any of them online and maybe writing that we are here today with you, we are working on this? Are you comfortable with that? If they say yes, then you can go ahead but then sometimes, especially if it's touching on a project, it would be a good thing to even have a consent form where there is express and there is evidence that they actually signed a document to agree that their work can be, their images or their information can be shared. I have seen people, maybe sued or taken to court because of some of this problem. So don't assume and don't even know. But the bottom line is be visible on these platforms. Don't ignore them. They are very powerful. Then there's this About Me platform. This is basically your website. I know people have their own websites, but you can start at a very small space. Mine is this very little space where I will stop sharing this and then I will show you my About Me page. This one is, I just created this and it's free. just create my About Me page so that if somebody asks you, okay, maybe can you send me a short bio or something little about you where I can get to share with someone. You don't need to go around sending them a Word document or stuff, unless they say you can send in Word document. You can easily send them this. And this is a very nice overview about you. So this one is about me, what I do. I have a short video about, my company, Writing Hub Africa. And then now I write like a small bio about me, what I do, the other things that I do, everything else that I do. But then you also contact. And then if somebody wants to book a training session on scientific writing, then you also guide them. So then it's also about education and also all these other handles. You can easily link them to all your other platforms. So if somebody wants to see you on LinkedIn, they can reach you. If they want to see you on ORCID, they can see you. If they want to find you on X or on Facebook or on Google Scholar. So this also About Me is a free site. So just go and create yours. You don't stay without it. Just describe yourself on an About Me page. Just write what you do, what you are, all those things, so that people can get also to understand what you do. You never know who would want to ask you for somebody would ask you for a profile, and then you want to start writing a document. They will tell you, that is not what I expected. I expected you just to send me maybe a link. So they would be expecting a link, and then you share with them a document, and they are maybe disappointed. So I'm just bringing your attention to some of these things because I know some of us have them, some of us don't. Then we have preprints. So the preprints basically are online repositories containing works or data associated with scholarly papers not yet peer-reviewed or accepted by traditional academic journals. There are several preprints, and some of them are based on your field. You have bioarchives, you have meta-archives, but then here I'm talking about Africa Archive. I am a moderator on Africa Archive. So this one is a Pan-African open access preprint repository where you can publish or you can archive your papers even as they still undergo the traditional peer review process that takes a very long time. So you can easily put your paper out here with the Africa Archive, and it will already be visible to the world. The world will be able to see and cite it, even as it still undergoes peer review. So once it is published in a traditional journal, you can still bring it back to Africa Archive and replace the original version with the published version, and then now you publish it as a post-print. So this also enhances the visibility of your work, because there are people who will see it on Africa Archive, there are people who will see it on the website of the journal where it was published, and there are people who will also see it on Google Scholar. So it just enhances the visibility of that paper that you are working on. So consider this. Just go and visit Africa Archive page. You can create an account there, and just you can start archiving your works with them, even as you wait for the whole process of peer review to take place. Now, if a paper has been published as a preprint, if it is on a preprint server, and you are submitting it out to another journal to review it, it's a good thing to tell the journal where you are submitting your paper that this paper is online already as a preprint, and you can send them even a link to confirm that indeed it's out there as a preprint. It has not been published in another traditional journal, but it is out there as a preprint, so that they are sure whether they want to publish this paper, even though it has been published as a preprint or not. And make it clear, because what happens is if you send it without telling them that it is already available as a preprint, when they do plagiarism check, they will see that there's another document online that is identical to the one you are sharing with them to publish, and then they will start asking you questions. So make it very clear at the beginning that, hey, this paper is out there. It's available online as a preprint on this link. So I'm sending it out now for conventional publishing. So an example is this paper that I published as a preprint in the year in 2018. So it was submitted, this review paper was submitted in 2018 and published as a preprint. And then in 2018, but then it was now finally published in a conventional journal in 2020. But by the time it was being published in a conventional journal, it already had been cited 4 times as a preprint. So what happens is, once it is now published in a conventional journal, I take this DOI and link it to the preprint. So anytime that citation is done, the DOIs are linked, so you don't have two different papers. It's one identical paper because the DOI is the digital object identifier that identifies, it's a persistent identifier that identifies this document of persistently forever and ever on the internet. So what happens is you link these two DOIs and say, okay, this was the DOI when it was published as a preprint, but now it has been published as a conventional paper and it has a DOI. So you can link the two DOIs and then now it becomes one document. The other thing, sorry, I wanted just to show you when I started, I wanted to show you something on Pablons because I think it's only on Pablons that I had not gone there to show you. For those who are joining late, you missed quite a bit of something, but this will be shared so you can be able to see what it looks like. I just wanted to show you, let me start with the Google Scholar. So mine is just to encourage you to create accounts on these platforms. Don't just be there without a platform on some or without an account on these platforms because they are there for free and they are there to enhance your visibility as a researcher. So basically, what is happening here? I'll just stop sharing that and let me just share another screen here. Okay, I'll just show you this one here. So this is my Google Scholar profile, and it shows the citations and the years where these papers were published, and it even gives you now the H index and the I-10 index. So this one is the number of times, how many papers have been cited more than 10 times, so 10 times and above. So the number of publications with at least 10 citations. So at least 19 of my citations have at least 10 citations. So basically, it shows you all the publications that you've done over the years. I don't know, maybe here it would go until my first publication was in 2014, and I have around 58 papers that I published already so far. So create accounts on these platforms. Mine is to challenge you to create accounts on these platforms. You need to have all this so that you enhance your visibility and the visibility of your work. People will not know what you are doing if you are not visible. You are doing a lot of research, you are keeping it under the table. Nobody sees it. Nobody knows what you are doing. I want to show you also something a little bit on how I post these things online so that you also get to understand. As I said, I'm not telling everyone because not everyone is an online person, but just try and push yourself. You could get, as I said when I started, I have gotten consultancies and also being parts of consortia as for projects because of what I put online, because people see that this is what you are currently working on. It's not about writing a lot of details. It's not about putting too much detail about what you are doing, but it's about just showing people what you are working on so that they also get to understand if they want to collaborate with you, they are aware of what potential areas they can collaborate with you. So just be visible online. So basically, I'm just showing you my my LinkedIn profile so that you get to, and also on the side, also just show a few things about just how does your profile also come across. So also just try to write a profile that also makes people get to understand, okay, so this is the person. But I just want to show you some of the things that I have published here. So there's a paper. My first PhD paper was published So I just published here. You see this citation here, this one, and then there is a link. So already people are seeing that you are publishing something. And this one was on exploring the potential of a aquaponic system in advancing food security in Kenya. This was a scoping review. So maybe there are people who will only read this paper because I had posted about it. But maybe if I had not, then maybe they could not have seen this paper. So if they're interested in aquaponics, for example, then they will say, okay, I've seen this guy publishing papers on aquaponics. I have a project on aquaponics and I need some guidance or I need people to work with. I will reach out and reach out to him. because he has been publishing things on aquaponics. I just want to show you, I'm not showing you all, but okay, let me just show you a few others so that you see how maybe I frame them, so that you get to understand that it's not about writing a lot of things. Of course, I also engage by sharing. You see, like these ones, these are where we are doing consultancies and doing consultancies with people, and just put them out there so that people get to understand. This one were about conferences that we were having, and I was the one manning our stand. This one is where we were working with my supervisor on nutrient efficiency of an aquaponic system. So just, so that people get to understand what you are doing as a researcher, what you are about, okay? So it makes people get to understand basically that you are doing something and what is it that you're doing. So when you've done, like here, I was doing a presentation on blue opportunities and challenges for the youth and women in the blue economy sector. This was at a conference. So just make sure that you are visible. Basically, that's what I am trying to make you understand. Okay, this was my aquaponics unit for my PhD. I had some very nice vegetables here. Okay, but basically what I'm telling you is be visible, make your work visible online so that people get to understand what you are doing. Now, this one is, for example, a project that I'm running. I started a project called Dala Integrated Aquaculture Hub, where I train people in integrated aquaculture, food production. This is just my own initiative. It's an organization that I started by myself. So just be out there so that people get to understand what you're doing. People get to understand you better so that if they want to work with you, they know the person they want to work with, okay? So basically, be visible. Those ones I'm just showing you so that just to challenge you to be visible. You could be doing very nice work, but if it stays on your laptop, I will not invade your laptop and see what you're doing. I will not come and ask you for your phone so that I can be able to see photos and other things that you're doing out there online. Up to there, I would invite questions and comments before we get to the next part of the presentation. Yes, Tongu.
Yeah, good morning, Doctor and colleagues. I think I'm delighted that you have gone through this session. What I want to find out is, in most cases, people publish, you find a publication in one journal and also find it in another one. For example, you may find someone's work in a ResearchGate and also find it in academia. Does it mean that you can also publish the same work in more than two or more than one? That's what I want to find out. Thank you.
Academia and ResearchGate are not journals. So these are just platforms where people put papers that are already published. So the paper is published in one journal. Here is just where you are putting it for people to be able to see it. It was already published online. So there's no problem. You can put it in academia, put it on all other platforms, as long as it has been published online. There's no problem. So academia, ResearchGate, those are not journals. Those are platforms, or those are databases where you can easily just put whatever has been published. So for publication, no, you cannot publish in two separate journals. It has to be published in one journal at a time. And for academia, for example, academia and ResearchGate, yes, you can upload the same papers on the two different platforms just to increase its visibility. Any other person with a question or a comment before I proceed? Let me also read on the side. I can see maybe if there are any questions. I am challenged at the amount of work you have done. I've done some, yeah, I've been trying. I'm still a young scholar. I'm just starting out. How do we receive regular communication on subsequent works of the same? I don't understand that. Maybe you might need to maybe Stephen, if you can unmute and just ask. Okay. I've seen it, Stephen. I've seen what the question was about. I've seen that. Thank you. So does anybody have anything before we get to the next part? Yes, Henry.
Yeah, thank you very much. What I want to ask is that on those different platform you should, Can you also maybe post a work that you are part of the team? Maybe you were cited on, you are also part of the authors, because most of the time you are not maybe not the lead author, just a supporting, maybe assists in data collection. Yeah, but after publication of those newspapers, you are also cited on it. So on those different, can you include them in the platform?
This depends on a lot of things, but one of them is if a paper is already published and it's online, it's like it's public knowledge. So somebody would not say that we do not want people to see this and you have now shared it. No, that is, it is, I think it's published. It is public knowledge. Anybody else can always Google and find it online. So if a paper is published and there's a link of it on the line, you can easily say, okay, my team and I, or we have published a paper on this. If you want to read and know more about what we have published, kindly, you can find it through this link, so that you are just attracting traffic to the paper that you have published. So I really don't think there's a problem with that, because that is a paper that is out there. The only problem you would have is if you are going to share information about a project, for example, that is currently running, and you don't have authority over that data. Somebody will tell you, why are you talking about this project and you are just a research assistant? Or why are you talking about this project and the project is mine? So why are you, putting this data out there? Why are you talking about what we are doing and you are not part of it, or you are part of it, but yeah, you didn't? So you need to also be conversant with the project if you're going to share information, and ask them, hey, we are running this project, but then there's this part that I really want to put out there on my LinkedIn profile, for example. I want to put out on Facebook just a small thing about what we are doing, and this is what I intend to post as our team leader. What do you think about this? They will tell you, okay, fine, that's okay, or maybe you can modify it this way to sound. So if you want to be visible, this is just helping your entire team and make them understand why you want to post, to be posting a few things on LinkedIn about what you are doing, for example, so that people get to understand our project better, maybe without too much detail, but just people get to understand that we are talking about teenage mothers, we are trying to support them, or we are trying to study how they take care of their children. Just ask the colleagues that you are working with that basically this is what we are doing. Right now, any project where I work, if I'm part of a project or a consultancy, I make it very clear that visibility is part of it. In fact, these days, there's a project we are doing that is funded by the EU, and it's a big project that is running we have 16 partners from several parts of the world, and visibility was part of it. And in my university, I'm the one in charge of making sure that whatever output that comes out of that project is visible. So I have created a Facebook account for the project. There's a website for the project. There's a LinkedIn account that is just for the project. We have a Twitter handle. It's called X handle for that project. So these are things we need to start talking to our team members about. Tell them we need to think about visibility, because these funders and donors also love when their works are visible. Because when you post, you will say, okay, this is a project that is funded by World Bank, and you will tag them in that post, and they will get to understand that you are pushing their agenda out there. They will be happy. Next time you'll be surprised that when you apply, they will know, okay, this guy, they will make us visible. Yes, Alison.
Yeah, thank you. I wanted to find out now identifying how should one be able to identify a predatory journal, because I have seen it in the list, but list is very long. But now to filter out which one is predatory and which one is genuine is a challenge to me most often. Thank you.
That is where we are coming. Thank you for reading my mind. That is the next part of our talk now. I've seen someone saying that, okay, there's something I've seen here. Can you create accounts on these platforms before you publish? Will it be of use? Why not? If let's say you want to create an account, an about me page, there's something you can describe yourself about, even if you've not published, you're a researcher. So choose which profile, which platforms will benefit you even before you publish. If you create an about me page so that every time somebody asks you for your profile, you don't have to you just tell them, okay, I'm sending you a link, maybe go and pick what is necessary or what you need for the current job, and then that one will help you. On Twitter will help you because you are still also going to link up with people. LinkedIn, for example, will help you because you are going to meet people. You are going to see what other people are doing. You can easily engage and reach out to them. And when you're on LinkedIn, if you see what is trending, just, you can also be part of it. You can just share or repost those posts. So people also get attracted to your profile. And you never know. I've been contacted by several organizations, sometimes just asking me if I could be able to be part of their teams, and also just if I could advise or work with them for something, because they see I post on aquaponics or post on something. So can we have a list of these very important platforms? I'm going to share the presentation. So with the presentation, you will have all the lists and all the links. So that will be good, so that you can just go and check which platform will be easy for you. The social accounts are clear. I meant the other scientific. Okay. So even on Google Scholar, you can create a Google Scholar account even if you don't have publication, but it will not be useful, because then what will be there? But in preparation, I'm just saying, just script those things in preparation. You start publishing, and then you have 1 or 2 papers, and it's already on Google Scholar. So even as you teach your students, you can easily be telling them, if you go on Google Scholar, you just Google my name, you find a paper that we published last year. Sounds nice. So create some of these platforms. These ones will be of help. Is there any other question before I get to the next part of our presentation? Because the next part is about, I want to talk about now that yesterday we already had a paper. Let's assume we already published, we already developed our manuscript, and we now want to think of, where do I submit this paper for publication? I'm at a loss. I have a paper that I have, it's ready. It's ready to be published. It should be going out there, but I don't know how to identify the journal to publish my paper. Okay. So, you don't know, somebody's asking, I don't know, how do I select the right journal for my paper, for my manuscripts, before I send it out there? And someone has rightly asked, how do I mitigate predatory publishing? Because it's a challenge that is happening in the academia right now, that they are predatory publishing. There are predatory publishing houses that are just always soliciting for papers, and then you don't know. They don't publish, or they publish without doing anything. They don't adhere to the core principles of scientific publishing and communication. So they don't do peer review, for example. They are always asking you to submit papers, unsolicited emails. You find unsolicited emails in your inbox, always asking you to submit papers. You ask yourself, how did these people even know about me, and why are they asking me to submit papers? You submit a paper today, tomorrow you are told it has been accepted for publishing. You only need to send the money. No one has done any peer review. No one has corrected anything, and if they pretend to have done it, they will just be correcting grammar and not correcting the content. Those are predatory journals that you're dealing with. So how then do we select journals? So there are several how do you call them? There are several journal selection strategies that you can use. I will demonstrate maybe 2, and then the rest we can also talk about, because there's a platform that is called Dimensions AI that I will also demonstrate how to use. That will also show you partly how to get the right journals for your work. But I want to start by showing you how to identify a journal for your paper. If you have a paper, if you have a manuscript that is ready, how do I identify the right journal for my paper? I think that would be interesting to most of the scholars here. I know some of you already are conversant with this, but for the sake of maybe all of us, I want us to type this one. When you go to Google or your browser, just type the word journal finder, and you realize that most of these big houses have journal finders. So you don't even have to struggle. Just come here and say, okay, I want to publish this paper. The way I've written it, I think this one can be published in Elsevier. Then you just come and use the Elsevier journal finder here. Or I want to publish this in Wiley and Francis, or Wiley. Come and just find it here. MDPI also has journal finders here, Taylor and Francis, even Research for Life. has journal suggesters. But let's give an example using Elsevier, for example. So you want to find, or maybe MDPI. So just come and click on Journal Finder, and then you will type the title of your paper here. I'm just going to demonstrate using one of my papers here. I'll just get a paper, for example. Let me get one paper and use it for. Okay, there's a paper we published. We developed in 2014. I'll use it as an example here. So I'll just put the title here, and then you copy the abstract. And paste that abstract here. And then these others you can decide. You can decide whether you want, this APC is article processing fee. So sometimes you want only journals that publish for free, where you don't have to pay any article processing fee. So these are things you can easily set. But then you also want to see, I want only journals that are indexed in which databases. I want journals that maybe are indexed in Scopus, Web of Science, maybe all of this. You want journals that are indexed in this. Okay, then you click search, and you will find that it will suggest for you journals that match your paper. So you see, these are all journals that match the paper that I have. Okay, all these ones are journals that match my paper. And now it gives you the match, the rank, the impact factor of that journal, the site score, the year it was launched, and the first decision. How long does it take for this journal to make decisions about publication, and then about the article processing fee. But then you can come back here and say that you only want article processing fee of 0, for example, so that you don't pay any article processing fee. I don't know whether MPDI has any article processing fee of 0. Most of them don't. So basically, you have all these journals, so you can choose which one you want that really matches your work. But I want us to move from this one and then look for, let's try Elsevier, for example. I don't know which screen you are seeing now. Are you seeing the one on Elsevier? Somebody, are you seeing the Elsevier screen?
Yes.
Find the right journal for your research, right?
Yes.
Yes, please, we can see.
So here we just post. Yes, I've just pasted the abstract to the paper, and then you click on find journals. For Elsevier, it's very simple. So once you put in you click in you paste the abstract, it will suggest journals for you. So this one is one journal that has been suggested for me: Aquaculture Reports, Egyptian Journal of Aquatic Research, depending on the abstract we post. And then this is where we were saying, once you select a journal, you need to visit author guide so that you know how to format your paper to meet the decisions, okay? Then it now shows you, if you want to publish as open access, then how much do you pay? So these are the open access, these are the article processing fee. Then for subscription, let's say if you don't want to publish as open access, the people have to pay to, so when this has to be transferred to the authors, the readers, then you can publish for free, some of them here. So let us say, I have published in this journal. So let's say we want to publish here. So you can easily click on submit your paper. Then you'll be taken through the process of submitting your paper. It's a step-by-step approach. You create an account. Then from there, slowly by slowly, you are guided on how to do your application. But then you see on this side, you see instructions for authors. So this is where you will be able to know how to format your paper. And here, it gives you an approach on how then do you, the scope of the paper, okay? And then the types of articles that these people publish, the peer review process, how it happens. And then now the authorship, how you need to do the authorship, how to change authorship, for example, declaration of interest, all those. But then most importantly, I want to show you how, okay, in fact, they are even talking about preprints. So they are telling you that authors may share preprints anywhere at any time online with so you can easily also, if you have published a paper as a preprint, then you can easily also publish with them. But the most important thing I want to show you is the writing and formatting. So this one is very important. They will tell you how the title page should appear. They will tell you how the abstract should appear, including the number of words that are required there, the keywords, the highlights, a graphical abstract if you want. They will show you how tables should be formatted, how figures should be formatted, how the captions, the color, all these things. So all these things are very important. So when you are going to submit a paper to a journal, make sure you can use a journal finder. That is one way. The second way of deciding where to publish your paper is you can always rely on the papers that you cited in your work. As you are writing your paper, the one that you are now looking to publish, you cited certain works. So these works are published in certain journals. So these are the potential journals that can also publish the work that you are publishing. That's because that you have written because they published papers that were relevant to your work. So you can also check there. You can also, ask your mentors, ask your peers, and ask them where they were publishing your work. So their works. So you can start with journal finders. You can also rely on that. But then, how do we mitigate the issues around predatory publishing? And I talked about predatory publishing as those are journals that do not adhere to the core principles of scientific writing and publishing. So they don't offer peer review. You find they don't offer peer review. They don't do anything. They just publish. They are in this for money. So what happens is they are there for money. So they don't care about quality. So one is they don't do peer review. Their article processing fee is not clearly displayed on their website. So you go on their website and you find they are telling you that they will tell you how much to pay for publication after your paper has been accepted. That is a very nice way of telling you that we might even disappear with this paper altogether. So make sure that these are things you watch out for, because if you don't look out for these things, you might end up sending a very good paper to a predatory journal. And then the other thing is, as you are looking for a journal to publish your paper, one of the things, even as you have decided, you need to go and check whether you can, before I forget, there is a site that is called Think, Check, Submit. So you can also go to this, what I was sharing the screen. I'll just share now. So you need to as part of trying to also mitigate predatory publishing, you can also go to this website that is Think, Check, Submit. So when you click on that, it will give you what you need to look out for. So what do you think? These are the things you need to think about. You need to think about the fact that okay, let me just go under journals because it gives you book chapters, journals. But we are talking about journals. So let me talk about journals. You need to think, you are submitting your research to a trusted journal. Are you submitting your research to a trusted journal? Is it the right journal for your work? Because more research is being published worldwide, new publishers are launched each week, and you might not know who is there or who is not. Many researchers have concerns about predatory publishing. So you need to click on this link, maybe, if you want to read more about predatory publishing. And it can be challenging to find up-to-date guidance when choosing where to publish. So then what do you need to check on a journal so that you can make a decision? Okay, I think this one is a good journal. So you need to check all this and answer them. Have you read any article in the journal before? Yes or no? Is it easy to discover the latest papers in this journal? Yes or no? The name of the journal, is the name unique? Is it not the same or easily confused with another journal? Yes or no? Can you cross-check with this information about this portal? Yes or no? So if you answer all this and realize that, hey, most of them I'm answering no, then just start thinking about this journal and be careful. I would suggest that if 50% of the answers here are no, of these questions are no, then that you are dealing with a predatory journal. Okay, so just make sure you check, and then after that, you can be able to now submit your paper after you've answered all this. Of course, the site is in different languages. You can really change and work in the language that I know most of you would be would be comfortable working in Finnish, so you can change it in Finnish or maybe Fijian and work there. But it's also in English. Kiswahili is also there, I think. So you can change and work on that. You can download this checklist that we are doing here. You can download it and have a soft version of it, and you can fill it out and just answer those questions. And if you realize that, hey, I'm answering no to most of these questions, then I don't think I'm dealing with a journal that can be trusted. So that is one thing. The site also has so many other resources that you can also take advantage of. So these other resources, you can easily just come here and check on think, check submit. You know, all these other resources are also here. So that is part of how you can avoid predatory publishing. But there are places where you can also check where other publishers in your school or in your university or in your country are publishing, because that is also a good way. But also, before we go there, there are sites like Directory of Open Access Journals, DOAJ. DOAJ can also help you, because this is, if you are talking about any open access journals, if they are legitimate, then they are indexed under DOAJ. So you can always just come and check if the journal where you want to publish your paper is indexed under DOAJ. Then you can come and check, okay, is it published here? Now, the good thing with this is, if you want to check where to publish your paper and you want to publish only in papers, in journals that do not charge any article processing charges, or there are no article processing costs, then you have already 13,000 journals, potential journals, where you can publish your paper without paying anything. And those are also going to be open access. So you can always come here and check that I only want journals that do not charge any article processing fee. And then you can come here now and check all the journals here. Okay, you can just come and maybe put certain keywords here, and then you will find the journal that you want. Or you can come and now again select them by subject area. So you can say, okay, mine is in the subject area of agriculture, so it will bring you journals that are in the subject area of agriculture. So they are all here. Okay, this one is not agriculture. This one appears like, okay. Then you can now, of course, agriculture is wide. That's why it's starting with the one that are in aquaculture, because then in agriculture is wild. So for me, maybe specifically, I want to talk about aquaculture, for example. So it will still now bring me papers in the field of aquaculture that do not charge any article processing fee and are open access. So these ones I can publish for free. See, so I think these are things you need to start, looking at. And I am showing you this because you are also guiding other people. Maybe you are guiding fellow students, or you are guiding other students that you are teaching. So these are how do you call them? These are resources that can be useful to you, just as a researcher, and also as somebody guiding other researchers who are also working with you. I want to show you, I want to do my last presentation before I do the last demonstration. I have a short presentation about open science. When people talk about open science, most of us think about open access. But imagine, open access is just one pillar of open science. Open access is just access to maybe journals and books and where. But then there are other pillars of open science that you need to be aware of as a researcher. I'm not going into too much detail. I'm just going to highlight some of them so that you get to understand that open science is bigger than open access. When people talk about, you've heard people throwing those words, open science, but then people don't know what that therefore means. So I want just to do a very short presentation, just highlighting the key aspects. I'm not going into too much detail about open science, but I just want to pique your curiosity about open science, so that you get to understand it more and get intrigued, because we all need to champion for open science, because then it makes science reproducible, and it also makes it very easy for us to communicate with other researchers. So just open science. What is happening? Okay. Sorry, I started from a wrong place. I don't know whether my screen is visible.
Yes, it is.
Oh, I hope you can see our beautiful tower at University of Nairobi. and we are not even bragging about it. But anyway, so we want, I want us to explore for maybe 10 or maybe 10 or 5 or 7 minutes. We need to explore the power of open science. Part of what I have shown you, part of it is also open science. Most of what I've showed you, some of them are open science, open places where you can be able to archive your work or whatever it is. But then I just want to bring to our attention a few things about open science. I think we all know about TCC Africa. It has been introduced already, but we are an award-winning trust established as a man. We were established in 2006, and we provide capacity support in improving researchers' output and visibility. So part of what we are doing here today is just showing you how to improve your visibility. Since yesterday, we have been also trying to also help you improve your output. People keep talking about open science, but then actually, what is open science? So open science is a collaborative approach to research that enables the sharing of data, methods, and results to promote transparency and reproducibility. We want to be able to reproduce your work. If I'm collaborating with you or if I'm reading your work, it should be able to be open enough that I can be able to access some of the resources you used. I can be able to access, data, all that. So it encourages collaboration, open access, and public engagement. Because if science, I want you to imagine that you are reading through, or you are looking for papers to read, and then you find a very nice paper, but it is hidden behind a paywall and you cannot be able to access it. How does that make you feel? It is impeding science. If science is not open, if science is hidden behind paywalls, then why is taxpayers' money used to even fund research in the first place? We funded you to do research on how to enhance agricultural productivity so that we can address the issues around food insecurity. But then you publish a very good paper, and then we hide it behind a paywall. That if somebody wants to access that, they have to pay money for them to access it. Of what use is that? That is a resource that is wasted, because it's not helping anybody. If we give you money to do research, then once you publish that work, we keep it behind a paywall. It needs to be open. That's why we are talking about open science. Imagine all these are pillars of open science. So we cannot even talk about all of them. So just know that open science is bigger than open access. So one of the pillars is open access. There is open data, open. Okay, this will be confusing to so many of us. I don't want to get there. So one of them is open access. I think we talked about it. Open access is the practice of making research available to the public without a paywall. It allows for greater access and research. I think we've understood, and I took you to the directory of open access journal, so that just to make you understand that there are directories where you can be able to get all open access. Okay, so open access is supported by Creative Commons licenses, and we will look at these licenses. There are several licenses. There are those that will allow you to modify the work. There are those that will allow you only to use as is without modifying. You need to be aware of these licenses as a scholar, so that you don't violate any of them. Okay. Then there's open data. Open data is the practice of making research data available to the public. I will show you one platform where you can get data sets, and you can download those data sets, download them, analyze them, write your papers out of them, as long as you cite where you got the data from. Then we have open source. Open source is a practice of making softwares available. There are even data analysis softwares that are also available as open source. So some people, there are data analysis tools that you can easily just download and use without having to pay anything. So those are the open sources that we are talking about. So open source is the practice of making software available to the public without a paywall. Okay, so it allows for greater access to software and hardware, enabling people to use them for their own research or education. Okay, then we have open education. So this is where we make educational materials available to the public. So sometimes people have training manuals, even open access portals where you can just go and learn for free without you being charged anything. So those are what we call open education. So that is also part of open science. Then we have open peer review. Open peer review is a form of peer review in which the identities of the reviewers are disclosed to the authors and the public. So this is peer review where you know who is reviewing your work, and maybe the other person also knows you. They know I'm reviewing so and so's work, and this is open. So the identities are not hidden. So this is also open, part of open science imagine. This type of review allows for the authors to receive feedback from the reviewers in a transparent and open manner. It also allows for the reviewers to be held accountable for their comments. Sometimes you find somebody, because they can hide behind blind peer review, then they can easily, give comments that are not constructive because they know nobody knows their identity. So these are some of the things. So I've talked about the pillars, so I'm not going to repeat them because the ones we were talking about were the pillars. So we have open access. There are several forms of open access. Okay. So in open access here, the researcher decides where to publish. So you selected the journal. The journal, so it's either open access journal or those that are hidden behind paywall. Okay, then you need to check for access process. You need to check for article processing fee, and then it will be immediately available to be read for free if you paid for this access fee. But then you can also have the other route where you don't pay, but then whoever wants to read your paper will pay. So the paper is subscription based. It's hidden behind a paywall. You publish, the author does not pay, but whoever wants to read it must pay. So those are the different, and then there are benefits of open access that I'm not going to talk about. All this will be shared so that you also get to understand. So there are several CC BY licenses that govern open access. And these CC BY licenses, it's good for you to also get to understand these CC BY licenses. We've seen that as we move progressively, the ones that are most restrictive, you will get to understand. So BY is, so like there are those that will, like this one, non-commercial, non-derivatives, and attribution. So you only can attribute, you cannot do anything. This one, there's attribution, there's non-commercial, so you cannot use it for commercial purposes, but you can share alike. So which means you can share it as it is, okay? All this, so you can get to understand what these ones are. You will get to understand them there are 6 of them, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but you need to know that open access is governed by several of these licenses. Then there are forms of open access. I will not talk about all this also. You will get to see them. There's the green open access, where this is mostly self-archiving of research papers in online repository, open on your own website or the institutional repository. So universities have their own institutional repositories where they archive papers. They also archive papers there. They also archive maybe thesis and stuff like this. So that is green open access. Then we have the gold one. So this is direct publication of research in open access journal. So most of the time you will find that you are charged as an author, so that once you pay this, then it is available for free to the other people. But then the hybrid one now combines golden access, green and golden access. So the publication of research papers in traditional subscription journals with the option of paying a fee to make the paper open access. So this one allows you, if you have money, fine. If you have money, we can publish it for you and it becomes immediately available. Or if you don't have money, we can publish it for you for free, but then the readers will pay. Then there's Diamond open access or Platinum. So this is where do not charge any fee. These journals are typically funded by grants or sponsorship. So in some of these journals, like this one, they already get funded. So you don't pay anything to publish, neither do you pay anything to read papers here. So this one is forever free. Then the licenses, I will not talk about the licenses. You will get to understand them very well when you read through this so that you know which license is which one, okay? These ones you will get to understand. Then the licenses and agreements, so attribution, all those. Then there's the other one is open data, which is another platform with another pillar of open access, of open science. I've talked about all of them, so there's no need of again going through them. The other one is open source, where I've talked about software and hardware. Then there are examples here of open software and hardwares. So some of them, I think you can see there is Python, there's Ubuntu, there's OpenX. All these are open access software. So these are what we call open sources. In science, this is part of open science. Open sources are part of open science. Then there's open peer review. I think I've talked about that. I will not also, these are just more details where you can talk about the challenges. Then there's open education. Examples of open education. Here we have how you can develop documents out of this and just bring it down to a level where everyone else can be able to understand. Here was just to show you a few things about open science that goes beyond just open access that we are conversant with. And also, you remember when you are working with communities, you also must make sure that the citizen science, where people are included at the inception phase of project, so that they don't get to sabotage the project in future, for example, if they feel that they are not part of it. So these are things. There would be a lot of platforms where we'll be talking about all those details, but today I just wanted to bring your attention to them. I'm going to the last part so that I demonstrate 2 tools. I may do 3, but yeah, if time does not run out, I will do 3, but I'll do 2 main demonstrations of tools that you can use to enhance your work. One of them is called Dimensions AI. Dimensions AI will allow you to access publications, grant information, data sets, policy documents, and also clinical trials, so that you can be able to download and work around them. But then for you to be able to access Dimensions AI, you must access it through Research for Life. So you need to go to your university librarian, or if you're working at a research institution and you're in Africa or any part of the south of Sahara, you need to go to your librarian at your university or at your research institution, ask them for login credentials for Research for Life. Each university will have their own unique login credentials. So just go to your librarian and ask them, hey, I want to access Research for Life. Would you provide me with login details? I know they will be willing to do that. Then once you get those login credentials, just come to your browser. I'll just show you here. Just come to your browser and type the words Research for Life. When you search for Research for Life, just take the first option, or you can even just sign in directly, but I would want you to take the first option. Once you take that option, you will be taken to, of course, you can just click to access content here. Click to access content. Of course, you will now be redirected to sign in. Let me just see if it's taking its time still. So you will be prompted to log in. So there will be specific details that will be given by your university. Use those credentials to log in to Research for Life. You will put your credentials there, and then you just log in. Once you log in, this will be the landing page. This is the landing page once you log into Research for Life. Once you get to this landing page, just click on Content, then click on Databases. Once you log in, click on Content, then go down and click on Databases. It's still loading. It's going to list the databases for us in alphabetical order. Then you scroll down to Dimensions, and then you will see what we will do with that. It's still taking a bit of its time. So basically, this will just show you a database where you can get a lot of things in one place. So you are not only going to get publications. To access publications, you can also access projects. What are the projects that are currently running in my field, in my country, in my university? Now, after we have clicked on databases, you scroll down to Dimensions, and Dimensions is here. And even we have DOAJ that I was showing you, but let's click on Dimensions first. So when you click on Dimensions, I want one person to unmute and tell me how many publications are you seeing on this database?
$1.7 million 869,505.
Yeah, so you can appreciate the fact that this platform or this database has so many publications that if you are doing a literature search, it's very difficult for you to miss something to read. You can't tell me that out of 147 million, you will not get something that's relevant to your research. That will be highly unlikely. So this is the reason why we have created this platform. So basically, this But then it goes ahead to provide you with data sets. It goes ahead to provide you with grants, patents, clinical trials, and even policy documents on one platform. You can imagine how powerful that is, because otherwise you would have to go to different platforms trying to find information on this, going to another platform trying to find information on that. So this one I'm just bringing to your attention that just by that, somebody's asking, can you go back on how you go to dimensions? I think that was clear. You log into Research for Life. After you log in, you click on content, click on databases, scroll down to dimensions, and we are here. Now, I want us to start on the left, just on the left. There are several filters, but I want to show you how far back in terms of publications can we go on dimensions. On dimensions, we can go as far back as 1665. So I'm imagining if you are doing a scoping review, or if you are doing a meta-analysis, and you want to show how things have been changing in that subject area over the years, then you can easily surprise your supervisor by telling them, I have accessed information on some research that was done in 1865. And then they will be like, okay, how did you even access that? Or I will tell them, okay, I read a paper that was published in 1680, for example, or I've read a paper that was published in 1855. So you can go very far back. You know, we have 17, all this. So some of them are just monographs that were scanned and put online, but you can be able to read them, and it can give you an information. It can give you ideas about what is happening. But then let's say we are not concerned about that. We only want papers that were published between the year 2020 to 2025, for example. Just click on the dots in front of the years, and then you click limit to. So it's going to limit us only to papers that were published between the years that we have selected. Now we are down from 147 million to 33 million that were published between 2020 and 2025. Okay, that is the first filter. I want to remove that filter. Then we are back to everything. The other filter that is here, you can filter by country. So which country do we use? I don't want Kenya. Any other country that is represented in the house?
Uganda.
Okay, Uganda it is. So you click on Uganda, you type Uganda, and then you click limit to. Now we are down to only publications that are either relevant to Uganda or that are coming out of Uganda. We have 42,000 papers, publications from Uganda. I'm not saying those are all the publications in the internet that are from Uganda, but those that are available on this platform are 42,000. Now, after selecting the country, you can easily even just go and select on research organization and see of the research organizations that are in Uganda, which one is publishing more. And we see Makerere has 20,000 publications from Uganda. We have Mbarara University of Science and Technology. Uganda Virus Research Institute also has published quite a bit. London Science School of Hygiene and something. Somebody would ask, why are these also here? These ones are here because they have done quite a bit with Ugandan scholars, and their affiliation appears in so many other papers that are also shared, that are also sharing affiliation with Ugandan researchers, that it appears up there. So this institution, London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, has worked a lot in Uganda and has worked a lot with Ugandan researchers, and that's why you see it's going up there. We have even publications from Mulago Hospital. Great, nice. So this is just a filter. So I'm just showing you that maybe you can decide that, okay, I only want papers that are coming from Makerere University. Then you click limit to Makerere. So now we are down to Makerere. So we are only focusing on Makerere University. Then you can go come and check under researcher and see, okay, from Makerere, which researcher is up there. We have Moses Robert Kamya, we have David Kasoke, Serwada, you know, all these people, the way their contribution is. But you see, we have limited our search to Makerere University. Now we are down to Uganda, we are down to Makerere, for example. Then you can now go down and check who is funding research in Makerere, for example. We have the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. We have Nogati International Center. We have Wellcome Trust. These are the funders of research in Uganda. Then where are Ugandans the researchers at Makerere University publishing their works, you can easily come here and check the journal lists and see. Maybe let's come here and see. So they are publishing in ResearchGate, they are Research Square, they are publishing in PLOS ONE, BMC, Public Health, African Health Sciences, MedArchive, Malaria Journal, the Lancet. They are publishing in different journals. So what I was saying is this dimensions can also give you an idea of where the potential places where you can publish your work by just seeing where your fellow researchers are publishing their works. So let us remove Makerere and remain with Uganda so that our search is bigger. So we are still at 42, but then let us look at the top researchers in Uganda, for example. Now we are not doing, but this guy, Moses Robert, is still coming up. Even when we are talking about Uganda as a country, I thought you don't come up when we were talking about Makerere, but then it still comes up here. If you know him, say hi to him. So if you want to see a bit of more details, we can just come here and see the top, like I think it would be a top 100 researchers in Uganda now. You see here, with their total number of citations, and then the number of publications they have that are on this platform. So all these are the top 100 researchers in Uganda. You can also come back here, and so you can play around with as many filters as you want. Yes, Emily.
I just wanted you to confirm that this is by the subject. I'm seeing biomedical and clinical, mostly health related. And if you change that, you'll probably find different information.
Yes. If you, that one, I just forgot, we can easily also filter here by research categories here. So if you go to field of research, you can say, okay, I only want, so you can pick here. The ones that are here, they are coming up based on how many, the highest number that the publications are mostly in these areas. That's why we are finding most of them are coming up here. And that is why even here, when you go down after the researchers, when you go to the source titles where these people are publishing their work, the one with the highest frequency, so most publications are in Research Square. But you can now come back to research categories and just say, I only want to look at publications in the field of health sciences and clinical sciences, and maybe medical microbiology. And then you click limit to now narrow down your research to only those specific ones. And you see, it brings them. So you can easily, if you want to be specific about field of study, then you can come back and filter by field of research. I want us to remove this field of research and assume that we want a paper here. So we have said, okay, we want a paper, but the paper has to be relevant to the country of Uganda, for example. And we have said, we want this paper to be between 2024. Okay. We want papers that were published between those years, and they're relevant to Uganda. And then maybe we can narrow down and say, which research field are we looking at here? For example, we want a paper from which field?
Anybody? You can check engineering.
Engineering, yes, why not? We can click, we limit to engineering. We've just put it as general engineering. So we are looking for papers. We have over 794 papers that were published between 2020 and 2024 in Uganda, about engineering. What keywords are we putting here? What specific keywords are we putting so that we get specific paper?
Construction.
Construction would be a bit, maybe a specific aspect of construction. Sorry?
I was asking you mean it would be broad, too broad?
Yeah, construction. Engineering, if you talk about construction, it could be something about material. It could be a bit specific, in the engineering space.
You can do contract management.
Contract management.
Yes.
So we are doing contract management related to engineering. We have about 37 papers here. So what we can do is, let's say this is the paper that is interesting to us, or maybe we can put any. This one, implementing building projects, considering construction waste, uncertainty, cost, or whatever it is. Let us say we are, let's say this one is Okay, let's take any paper. Let's take this paper, for example. This paper is about resource financed infrastructure, thoughts on 4 Chinese finance projects in Uganda. Now, when you click on any paper, the first thing that Dimensions will do for you is give you a summary. See? Summary about that paper. So it's not like the abstract of that paper, but a general highlight. You know, what is the summary? What is this paper about? So there is saying the research examines for whatever, while some view projects positively, concerns about transparency, data, accountability. So you have an idea, you have a summary of the paper before you even read it. Already Dimensions has given you a summary of this paper. Then it also goes ahead and gives you what we call key highlights. So it picks a few highlights from the paper. What are those key highlights? It has picked 4 key highlights from the paper. Before you even read it, you already have like some 4 key highlights that can already start guiding you. Then you have top keywords. So these are top keywords that are also maybe can also give you a pointer into what we are talking about here. And then on the left, we have altimetrics. So the number of times this paper has been mentioned on X, which is the former Twitter, on Mendeley. All this also is provided. That information is provided. But you can now, if you want to download this paper, you can easily go here. When you click on this arrow, the pop-up arrow, it will pop-out arrow will take you to the website where the journal website, and then you can now be able to download this paper and read if you want to read it. Then you can also access all the publications that were cited in this work. The good thing with this in literature search, there's something that is called snowballing, where you get one very good paper, it leads you to other good papers. So with Dimensions, if you do one very nice search and get one nice paper, it will link you to other papers without you having to always go and put keywords all the time. So all these papers have active links, so you can easily just click and you can even see all of them. There are 81 papers that were cited in the paper that we are currently reading, so you can easily follow and see whether those are also making sense. But it also goes ahead and gives you access to other papers that have cited the paper that you are reading. So there are people who also cited that paper that you are reading, and the good thing is, those who cited the paper you are reading might have had a bit of more information. These are later papers, so they might have updated information that could be useful to you. So Dimensions now allows you also to get access to the papers that have cited the one that you are reading, so that you can also be able to see. So you see how it links you to other papers, so that you easily can be able to access more and more of these papers. Now, apart from that, there's something I also want to show you here. So that's about publication. So you can then go ahead, download that paper, read, do whatever you want to do with it. But I want us to use a different country now and just do something about grants, because I want the data sets, patents, clinical trials, and policy documents, everything is the same. I just want to talk about grants, because we were talking about research visibility and how you can be able to network with other people and partner with them. You can partner with them in projects, but then we have over 7 million information about projects that have been happening. Which country are we looking at? For projects, I would want us to start by filtering by country. We want projects in which country, so that you can know what projects are happening in your field.
Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone. Sierra.
Why go very far like that?
Huh? Sorry?
Okay, it's okay.
Do we have Sierra Leone represented in the House?
I doubt.
Yeah, somebody gave Sierra Leone, and I thought that was their country.
Yes, from Sierra Leone.
Thank you. If you are from Sierra Leone, why not? We are using Sierra Leone. So we want to get about information of projects that are running in Sierra Leone. So on this platform, we have 167 current projects that are running in Sierra Leone in different universities and different fields. So this one has been running since 2023. So it will be running between 2023 and 2026. And even the total budget is here. So if you want to get more details, you can easily just click. You will get an abstract, but I don't want to go there. I want you to check on the left, sorry, on the left, yes, so that we want only projects that will be active within certain years. If you find that a project has ended, that does not mean that that information is useless. You could be writing a research proposal or a proposal for funding, and you want people to partner with. When you come here, you can see, okay, so and so did a project that ended in 2021, but it was very close to what I want to work on. So these are people I could put in my consortium to enhance my chances of finding this project. So the fact that the project ended does not mean that that information is useless for you. You could be working on something like energy access and green trans, and then you go online and realize, okay, there's this project that was funded by the European Commission, and it was done by so and so. Let me reach out to so and so that I can put them as part of my in the consortium, and then we can bid for this together. So that is not useless, even if the project has ended. But I want us to give example, so you can say, okay, I only want projects that are active between 2026, the ones that will be active. We are in 2024, so 2024 to 2026, then you limit to that. So we are now going to talk about only projects that are active in those years, because those are the ones that you can still, of course, say that you can be part of, because they will be active between 2024 and 2026. So actively, they are still happening. Now, when you come to those projects, you can easily come here and even check in Sierra Leone, for example, who is the top researcher in Sierra Leone right now. We have, each person just has one. Okay, no problem. Which organization is running most projects in University of Sierra Leone is running 8 projects that will be active between 2024 and 2028. Which university is of your interest?
Dala University.
Sorry?
University of Sierra Leone.
University of Sierra Leone, then we can click that and limit to University of Sierra Leone. So we want to see, we have 8 projects at the University of Sierra Leone that will be running between 2024 and 2026. So these are some of them. And maybe you can, let's say, one of them that is decolonizing peace education in Africa. Let's click on that and see. It's quite some money. So we want to see, you see, the Open University, the PI is from the Open University, and then we have some co-PI, Ashley Gunter, and then the organizations that are participating are all here. You have the Open Universities in the United Kingdom. We have the Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education in Zimbabwe, University of Sierra Leone, which is in Sierra Leone, and then we have all these others. So it's very easy for you to see, okay, I want to approach this, and you can easily also approach this organization. But then if you look at the original description of this project, you will be able to get even the names of who is the point man at the University of Sierra Leone. And then you can now be able to also reach out to them and see, okay, I will look through and realize you are working in a project in my field, and this is something that is interesting to me. Can we meet and have a chat? Or maybe I'm writing something like, you can find a way of reaching out, because then you know what is happening. The other thing that I also want to show here is that even under grants, you can still also filter by, even under grants, you can still also filter by research field, by field of research. So let's say I only want to know projects that are in the field of maybe clinical sciences or biomedical and clinical sciences. Then you limit and clear the others out. And then you will only get information about projects that are talking about biomedical and clinical sciences, and then clinical sciences, medical microbiology, immunology. So that is how you can use this platform. But then you also have clinical trials. For example, if you want to see the clinical trials that have been running in a specific country and what clinical trials they are, you can easily check and see. You also have patents here. You have all these things. So University of Sierra Leone has several clinical trials that have been running. Like we have 24 of them. We can remove this filter, and we only have. So there are 24 clinical trials that have run and either running or have run in the University of Sierra Leone. We have 103 datasets from the University of Sierra Leone. We have a total of 107 projects that have been done at Sierra Leone, University of Sierra Leone. And then we have 1,264 publications from University of Sierra Leone. I'm not saying that is all of it. That is what is captured on this platform. Having said that, it is now up to you to go and explore this site and see how powerful it is. Before I go to the last tool, then we will open up a plenary session. just allow me to go to the last tool so that we can have a discussion all at once. If you have any questions, maybe just you can list them and then we can have a short session where we can be able to discuss them. Please switch off your cameras. It's a bit distracting when if you are not contributing. I'll just share the last. Now, after downloading your papers, you want to now start summarizing and reading them, because reading papers word by word sometimes becomes a bit of a challenge. So for that, I will ask you to go here. I would ask you to go to a site called Scholastic. When you click on Scholastic, there are two options. The first option that I want to demonstrate using the premium version, but the free version is this one, the article summarizer, that allows you to summarize 3 papers for free per day. So when you click on the article summarizer, then you click on try for free, you can be able to upload papers and summarize them, summarize 3 papers per day. So you can easily just upload by choosing file or dragging and dropping. I want to maybe use this as an example. I'll just upload one paper. I don't know what it is. I hope it's a paper. Once you do that, then once you upload a paper, you will see what is happening. It's uploading and summarizing that document, and you will see the summary, how the summary will look like, so that you don't go through the pains of having to read the paper word by word, trying to find the key points, trying to find a summary. It's difficult. So it's taking a bit of time, but that is what it does. It's scanning through the document and summarizing, picking out key points, picking out some highlights from the paper, and so that it's easier for you now to scan through the paper and get to understand what the paper is about. It's taking a bit of I don't know, this is the internet. It should not, ordinarily, it should not take this long.
Maybe the document is big, many pages.
I think so. I just picked it at random. I don't know what document it is. I just found it in my downloads. I think I could have picked one that I am sure is not too long, but I think it's also a bit too late if we interrupt it at this point. I don't know how long this document is. Ordinarily, it takes just a few, maybe 1 or just a few seconds, or maybe 30 seconds just to upload that document, scan it, and give you the summary. So, okay, this one is taking longer than I expected. So, I will cancel this.
But did you say it can allow you to do like 3 documents in a day?
Yes, this one can allow you to do 3 documents in a day, but the one that I wanted, that I will demonstrate, the one that is, okay. Now you see, oh, I think this was a very big one. This one was a very big one.
Maybe, is it graphic? Does it have too many graphics? Does that affect how fast it
I think
does?
it could, but yeah, it has, you see, it has this, so Scholastic will even extract for you tables here, see? And it has extracted these tables, and you can be able to download these tables. It has extracted, it's a big document. This one is a report, I think, by the UN or FAO. It's a big document. So it has key concepts here. It has the abstract. It has what we call the Scholastic summary. It's a bit of a long summary. This is not structured so well because it's not an article. It's not a research article. Let me just try another one. I don't like the way this one came out. Okay. Let me just try another one. Let's see. So I just want to show you then straight into it's the same thing. It's not that the one that is for free can only allow you to do 3 papers in a day. But if you subscribe, the subscription is $4.99.
We are not seeing your projection, Doc.
Oh, sorry. I thought I was sharing. Okay. Okay, is it now visible?
Yes, it is.
So when you subscribe, because the other one I was showing you can only allow you to summarize 3 papers in a day. This one can allow you to summarize as many papers as you want in a day, even up to 100 papers in a day, and read and get summaries. So for you to get this one, you subscribe. Of course, there is also institutional subscription, but personal and individual subscriptions are charged at $5. It's $4.99 per month per person. So if it's something that is interesting to you, you can, Kevina will share the links to the email addresses to Oliver and Emma, so that you can be able to, but you can also just subscribe directly on the website. So once you subscribe, you will be able to bring your papers on board. You can be able to create your folders here or your libraries, and then you can now be able to be summarizing papers that you have put in your library. As an example, let me just put this out of the way. So you will create a library. So how do we call our library? Give me the name of our library. Because even when you download papers for your research, you don't go around throwing them everywhere on your computer. There's a way you organize them. So let's say we want to create a library. So how do you call this library? But you can give it a name. Let's say you have several papers that you want to put in a library. You can give it a name that when you click, it's easier for you. But then within the library, you can also still create folders. So you can now divide them by folders. So you can create folders using different names, and you can be able now to put papers in those folders. But I want to show you now, after creating your folders or after creating your library, and then now going ahead to create folders, how do you import files, or how do you bring papers into those folders? Because if you don't have any paper in your library, then there's no way you can summarize those papers. You can only summarize papers if they are on the library, okay? So you can import by just clicking on, you can choose a file from your computer, the same way you would upload any file, even if you are uploading it at an attachment on an email. You can just click on choose files, then it will allow you to browse through your computer and upload. I think in 64, you can upload 64 batches, in batches of 64 each time. So you can do 1 up to 64. So you can just select 64 files and then upload them once, then go back and get another 64, upload once. So basically that is how you can upload. That is the first way. The second way is you can enter the URL. If you have a paper and you have its DOI, there's no need of downloading it. You can easily just put the DOI, click in the DOI of the paper here, and then it will be uploaded directly to your computer. Scholars will be able to bring it, will be able to find it, and then you can be able to use it. Then also on cloud storage, if you have any paper that you have on your Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, or Zotero, you can easily also upload. But even under settings here, you can also, of course, set it to summarize by section, rewrite in third. All these are just settings. You can also set it to extract images, figures for you, and extract figures. These ones are just under settings. Now, after you have uploaded your papers using the different ways that I have shown you, you can easily now start summarizing your papers. Now, let me just show you my library. One of the examples. I don't want to upload papers. It will take a bit of time. We used this this library. This is our library. Now, on this library, there are 2 folders. One of them is food security, which is blank, and then there's this one that is called nursing. So here, I have so many papers that I had uploaded here. Now, when you upload them here, they are no longer papers. They are now called summary flashcards. So because you will see what I mean by summary flashcards. They have now been summarized into flashcards. So they are not the conventional papers that you saw that you would read from the introduction. No, there's a way they have been summarized in a way that is very easy for you to understand. I just want to demonstrate one of them. I don't know which one looks good, but I just want to show one here. I'll just pick any paper at random and just try to show you what it looks like. Okay. Now, when you download, when you when you click on a paper, some details are hidden here. If you want them, you can always click and hide and reveal those details. But then this is the summary. Now on the left are different sections of the summary that you can easily jump to any different section of the summary. So let's say we only want to get how that analysis was done. You can easily go and check, and then you can click here and get more. You can expand the summary. That analysis were. So this one just, you can easily go directly to each part of this paper and find a summary of that part. So that analysis has been summarized here. So it's not like we are still going into the long summary, or the long writing and reading about the data, how that analysis was done. So you can jump to any section you want. If you want key findings, you can easily click and jump to key findings and just find only key findings there without you having to read and trying to find, okay, what were the key findings from this paper? No, you just jump straight to key findings and you find it. You see, now we have our key findings. Let's say you want to dig deeper into this paper. There's what we call dig deeper, for example. So if you want to dig deeper, you can ask this paper a question here. Okay. So let's say you can even tell it to summarize in a different language. You can even tell it to summarize in French or tell it to summarize in Kiswahili, for example. But let's ask it a question of so you can, because you know the context of this, you know the context of the paper, so you can easily be able to ask it a question, and it should be able to answer that question. So you can be able to, I don't know what is not happening. Let's ask another thing. Ideally, it should be able to answer questions based on, maybe, I don't know what the context is here, whatever it is, but you can talk to this paper. The other thing that I want to show you here is about, I don't know, let me just try using another paper. This one is maybe not organized in the very best way. Let me try another one. Let me try this one. Okay, so this one, we also have a paper here, the summary flashcard, so you can easily hide and reveal these details. They are hidden so that they don't distract you when you start reading. So you start with a snapshot. So the snapshot is just, just a general idea or a general summary about the paper without giving too much detail. So then it also goes ahead now to give you key findings of the paper. What are the key findings? So that you don't go around reading everything as you try to fidget around and try to find what the key findings were. You can easily just come on the side and click, okay, I only want to get key findings, or I just want to get a summary of the objectives. What are the objectives of the paper? So what were the objectives? They are even talking about eligibility criteria. Then you can even just come and get the summary of the results here. I don't know why it's a bit mixed up, but the other thing is, I think they are also they were changing this to a new version of summary flashcards. So I think there's a bit of some disorganization, a little bit. But basically, what I wanted to show you is there are several things you can now, on the left, you can now pick where you want to go to. I want to dig deeper into this. I can easily see that the research quality is fair because it randomized 5 studies, acknowledges limitations. So the limitations are also here. The study subjects are also here. Then you can also go ahead, of course, now and access the original file if you want. But this way, it's not, the organization is not still happening well. I think they updated the version of the summary flashcards that they are having. But basically, what I wanted to show you is you can get summaries of each section. So like here, the summary of results is here. We have the conclusion, and we also, of course, can access all the references. Now, the good thing is, this reference, if you want to get an idea about this reference, you don't have to go and read this paper. what you can do is just click on show findings, and Scholastic will summarize this reference for you so that you get what that paper is talking about. This is a reference that is within Scholastic. So it will give you an idea of what that paper is talking about without you leaving this site. I don't know why it's taking time, but when you click on show findings, it should just generate for you a summary of that paper. Each of these papers, all of them, you see? This one is a summary of that paper. The one we did up here, this is also another summary. Oh, there's a different paper. So when you click on show findings for each of these papers that were cited, you will get a summary of each of them, okay? So basically, just to summarize this paper so that you don't have to go around reading every single word. It makes your work easier because you can be able to read the summaries. I will send an email to them. I think there's a bit of some challenges on the way the flashcards are now looking, but you can go and test it and see if it will make your work slightly easier than having to read these papers word by word. The other thing is I also want to bring to your attention is once you do your summaries, you can easily export those summaries so that when you are offline, you can be able to, yeah, you see like this one. Okay. This one has been organized in a way that you start with a snapshot, as I was talking about, that this is the snapshot of this paper, a short summary. Then you can have a synopsis, which is just another general summary of that paper. Then you can go to key findings here. What are the key findings from this paper? You find the key findings are already summarized for you. You go to the objectives. What are the objectives of the paper? The objective was to identify whatever. Then you can go to the summary of these results. Then you can go to the summary of that, the key concepts that are here. The good thing is these key concepts have Wikipedia links. So if there's a key concept that you don't understand, when you click on it, it will open a Wikipedia definition of that key concept so that you get to understand. Then you can also always dig deeper. You can ask it a question and tell it to summarize the document in 200 words. So it should be able to summarize this for you in 200 words so that you can get a 200-word sentence or a 200, yeah. You see, so it has been summarized in 200 words and all the most parts have been summarized for you here in 200 words. So you can be able to pick, see what you want to get out of it. Then the study subjects was here. Then you can have the original. Then we can also, we have figures here. So it can easily just go down to a figure. Then you can see what figure 1 is. You can easily download that figure if you want and use it if you want to use it. If there were tables, then it also allows you to download tables. And you can also download references. So if you have references that are here, you can easily also download those references and use them. So this summary is far much better than when you want to start reading this paper word by word. Because the summary, you can easily just go to key findings and say, okay, I only want to get the key findings so that I get to understand what this paper is about. Then you get the key findings, okay? So basically mine is to, okay, you can export all your summaries, either as Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Markdown, or even just as references. So let's say we want to export our summaries. You have, let's say here, when you go back to your library, the general library, that one I just picked one paper like this one, and I'm reading through the summary of that paper. But let us say we are back in this library and we want to export this. Just click on one, and then you can, let's say we select as many as possible. You can even select all. We have selected 100 items, then you can export. Then you can choose, I want to export as Word or I want to export as Excel, but let's export as Word. If you click on download, it will be downloaded and it will be exported as Word. So you have your summaries that are now here as Word and not as, you can access them as Word documents now. That is what we mean when we say you can export as Word. So you can export them and now you can be able to access them as Word documents rather than accessing them online. So if you are offline, you can still be able to use, you can still be able to access those documents and read them now as a Word format. The summary that I was showing you can be read as a Word document rather than, let me just close this. There's something I want to get so that I can show you what it looks like when you export your summaries to a Word document. When you export your summaries to Word document, what is happening here? Okay. I'm trying to find at least one that was already exported, because if we, okay, yes, I'm just getting one here. If I want to export right now, it will take a bit of time. So let me just show you what will happen if you try to export as Word. Let's say you have exported your summaries as a Word document and you want to read them offline when you are not connected anymore to the internet. This one is what the summary would look like. So you have a summary that has been now, you remember the documents you are reading online, now you have them as a Word document that you can even copy, paste, edit, because all that summary has been now. So you have the key points from that paper, each paper from the title. You have the key points from that paper. You have the synopsis, the key points, the summary of that paper, objectives, findings, discussions. Each paper is now summarized that way as a Word document. So you can easily now access and use them. Thank you. I will stop this presentation here. And if there are questions, we have a few minutes so that we can also have a discussion. Thank you.
Yes, Wilfred, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Doc, for your presentations. This is really very rich to us who are really aspiring to start publishing soon. I'm among those who have not made any online publication yet. And I see I may need to have another session along the way, especially when I get a paper ready to be published. But so far, this has given us a very good open eye that there is a lot more there that actually we were not aware of. I was having one question about Research for Life platform. I saw what was published, or the resources which were available there were largely science-oriented publications. I didn't see content which are of humanity nature or management nature. So I don't know whether Research for Life is about science researches only, pure science largely, or biological science or chemical science. But humanity aspects, I didn't see publications there. So I wanted to know whether it is not for humanity aspects of publication. Thank you.
Research for Life does everything. It's just about what we were searching. There is human and society, there is all that. There is human and geography. I saw those filters. It's only that I'm a bit biased towards that because I'm from the natural sciences. But yes, it has everything, including humanity and social sciences. I saw a question about who funds Research for Life. I'm not sure. All I know is they allow universities and colleges and research institutions from low-income countries or middle-income countries to access all that information for free. I know the other universities from other places have to pay some subscription fee, but for us, in this part of the world, we are able to access it for free. So I don't know who funds it, but yes, universities in Southern Sahara, I don't know whether it's called South of Sahara, Sub-Saharan Africa, can access all that for free. Yes, I think we can now just give some feedback and then we go home. I think time has also. Do this website have a plagiarism checker or filter? Is everything that has been published? Of course, there's what we call authenticate. I think there's a plagiarism checker that is on dimensions. So it does not pick anything that has not been peer reviewed, anything that has not been published as a scholarly document. Yes, Alison.
Yeah, thank you, Doctor and colleagues. I think this is very interesting and impressive. The training has made some changes in my life, especially. What I wanted to talk about is the other question about who funds Research for Life. When I went to register in my university, Uganda Matters University, the librarian, I think Research for Life is a consortium of different universities. And for example, in my admission letter, there's that charge, which is specifically for library. So I think the students who register in each universities are the ones funding Research for Life, because there is that charge that we pay as students. Each university has got that charge for library, I think, and so I think that is, I think the source of funding of that one. I wanted to just clarify that one. Thank you.
Yes, Eunice.
Yes, thank you so much for this opportunity and having given us a very informative session. I have a question on scholarship. My question is, can this tool, the scholarship, analyze 3 papers that are go to interact with it so that it can bring out the gaps emanating from the 3 papers? Thank you.
Currently, as it is, Scholastic summarizes each paper at a time. The only thing it does, it also shows you where it builds on previous research or where it agrees or disagrees with previous research. But really, it cannot compare the papers to see where the gaps are. That it does not still have that capability as yet. Somebody, Emily also had a question. I saw her hand up.
Yes, thank you. And thank you so much for that very insightful presentation. Since yesterday, the training has been very useful, particularly for me. And I believe we would have had even more time to, get into more experiential in terms of us being able to also try out this, maybe in groups or as individuals, but maybe the time will not allow that. And I was particularly asking about Research for Life because the dimensions seems to be very resourceful, and yet we have to get it through that route. We have to go through Research for Life. And just thinking about what Alison said, that it is the library fee that we pay, I don't know. if that was the case, then okay, let me not say it's not, but yeah, that's another question. And the reason why I'm asking is I know where I'm coming from. There's efforts to, for instance, look at knowledge that is generated or knowledge that we use or knowledge that we base our research on when we are making references and writing also our research papers and doing generally our research work, that quite a bit of it is based on a bit of Western principles, Western perspectives, and particularly for us at the African Women's Studies Center, looking at information from the African woman's perspective. So if you generalize it beyond the African woman, but generally now knowledge, from the perspective of an African. So this is why I was asking, and just like any other scholar you'd want to know, this very resourceful site or very resourceful platform it would be important to know where, I mean, who funds it, who drives it, and what is, of course, the motive is to provide these resources that are useful for us. But that question lingers in my mind. I don't know why.
Why would we? Why is it? Why would it be important to know who funds it? Of course, whoever pays the piper calls the tune, and they might decide to skew some of these resources to fit into their narrative. And it's true that if I'm funding you, then nothing is always is ever given for free. Even when those, if it's for free, then you know you are the product. I think that is, yeah, it's legitimate. I was training. There's an organization called African Women in Science, and they are basically in the field of limnology and water quality. That is also my field. So I was training them on some things about water quality, and I now went into training them about these tools. And one of them also asked me about that, and he asked about who is funding these things, because we are using them in Africa and we might be able to need to know. But then I sometimes just don't want to dig in, because I might end up unearthing some skeletons that might haunt me for a long time. So, if the tool is good, I'll just enjoy it.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that feedback. It's just that because then our output, when you use an input, it contributes to your output. So it's important.
Yeah, that goes into, where do we publish our works? Do we have strong African-based journals where our works can be made visible? Because we are still publishing most of our work out there. Most of our work are still published in Europe and in America and in Asia. And most of it is still published there. And who knows whether they are still also making it? Because we are seeing almost only just around 3% of the global publications are coming from Africa. Is it true? And how true is it? Is it the fact that we are publishing out there that our work is not really as visible as there? So these are several things that we need to talk about. So there is a need for us, of course, to have also our African-based journals that are also good enough for Africans to publish. There are also a lot of bottlenecks when you try to publish in some of these journals, because maybe they just look at your paper and say, this one is from Africa, we're not publishing this one. But those are a lot of things about scholarly communication that maybe we might not want to get into. But yes, Emily, you are right that these are things we need to talk about. These are things we are alive to. We cannot run away from such realities. We will be trying to lie to ourselves. Yes, Alison, I will take this as the last comment. And yes.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. and Emily, over the issue of the funding of that, because I was saying so. I testify through the evidence that the time I went to the librarian in the university, in order to access Research for Life, remember there's that condition of login credential. So I have to get registered first with the librarian to be connected to that part of the library where Research for Life is. And I was also made to create my own password and username. And I think that was why I said we are the one funding Research for Life, because the charge is there in the admission letter. And then that means the universities which constitute the consortium of Research for Life are the ones funding through the students who are registered, because they have to get registered first. And of course, they know very well by registering you also contribute some money there. And then how they fund it now, that one is up to that level of that part. That means any other person who is not a student, because I have seen a question here, somebody was saying, if he or she ceases to be a student of a university, how will he or her access Research for Life? But the fact is, before you access Research for Life, you have to go to the library of the university and you get those login credentials. I think the terms and conditions will come from there. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Unless there's something that is burning, you can put some also in the chat. Even if it's just some feedback, there's no problem. We will still allow that for the next 11 minutes so that we can receive some feedback, whatever it is, or if you want to add something, and then we also need to.
Excuse me.
Good morning, Mr. Nicholas.
Morning, Edina.
Thank you so much for the training since yesterday. I've really learned so much. Maybe an highlight on the dimensions AI. I was able to access to it through the Google platform directly without getting access from my university library. Maybe my colleagues can also try that.
Yeah, but then are you able to, if you have it in front of you, are you able to access all the tools that I was showing you? You are only able to maybe access publications and data sets. The others are gray. You cannot be able to access them.
Oh, okay. I'll try and figure out.
And even the filters.
I was able to access and a few filters.
Yeah. And even the filters for publications, there are some filters that are hidden that you cannot use. So for you to be able to enjoy it fully, of course, you can access it just through Google directly, but then it will be limited in terms of what you can do with it.
Oh, okay. Thank you for that.
Okay. Yes, Kevina, we need your direction on way forward. I think we have done some justice to the day today.
Yes, I agree. And we have to give credit where credit is due. So thank you so much, Nicholas, for an insightful 2 days. I think we've heard from the feedback as well that these are very informative sessions. I'd like to thank everyone as well, each and every one of you who made time for this training. And I have shared a few announcements on the chat, but for the sake of those who had not seen them, I will just list some of what I had put on the chat. So we have an evaluation and training feedback form. Feel free to voice your feedback. And this is going to be helpful for us to improve also our future sessions. The other thing was that certificates are going to be shared. And this is for those who attended both training days. So be sure to input your names in the attendance list. If you were not able to input your name yesterday, share a chat or message me here or on WhatsApp. I'll communicate on WhatsApp as well. And then throughout the training, we've shared a couple of resources. We have an academic podcast, we have a TikTok channel, we have our Slack and WhatsApp communities where you can get mentorship opportunities, news and events in the academic world. So feel free to utilize these platforms to enhance your knowledge and your research life cycle. So that is all from me. Thank you so much. I'll end the meeting in about 5 minutes to enable you to pick maybe some contacts or the links that you need from the chat. Thank you so much. Feel free to maybe turn on your video, say goodbye. Yeah.
Yeah, and also feel free to clap for me.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes,
too.
we need to clap for you. And I wanted to ask Nicholas, can we reach out for any questions later via email? I saw you shared your number. Is that allowed?
You can reach out through TCC, just inform them, because what happens is there are so many of us at TCC, there are so many trainers and mentors. So, based on your specific need, TCC will now make a judgment. You just write an email. Maybe Kevin has shared the email. Just write an email to TCC, tell them, I attended this training, there's this specific guidance that I still need. So if you are matched with me, no problem. TCC will direct you to me, then I will be able to guide you. But if they feel like this kind of guidance, Nicholas might not be the best person. This person is an engineer, we want to match them with an engineering mentor, then I think that is what would happen. Oh, someone is asking, is mentorship free?
Yeah.
Sorry?
That's a question. Yeah, that's the question that is linked to that as well, because there are some insights that you have personally given from this training that someone would probably want a follow-up question. Remember, I was just saying that if we had more time, maybe in groups, we would practically do certain things. And then if you have any, questions we could ask. Because sometimes when we look at what you're doing and when we go and do it ourselves, it might not be the same. So when someone goes to, try to do some of these things, is it possible if they have any problem to just ask? So that really is what
this is the issue we have, and I think this has to be, I think we need to make it very clear. I'll make it clear here, and maybe Kevin can also make it clear. Sometimes this is what happens. Let's say I am the one who trained like today, and it's easy for me to identify, it's easy for you to identify with me and try to reach out directly, because you'd say, you know, this is the guy who explained this. So this is the it could even be something that I'm the one doing it personally, and you want to say, okay, there's something I saw when you showed your platforms. This is what you do. I want you specifically to explain to me how this is done. The problem with doing free one is people will want to come and maybe not learn anything because there's nothing pushing them. They know I'll always call Nicholas and he will be, you know, setting up a meeting with me. So when you have to do those personalized kind of mentorship, you will have to be charged. Not inhibitively, but you will have to, of course, compensate for my time and also maybe just even bundles. We know we are dealing with students most of the time. And if you tell a student to pay you a lot of money for mentorship, then they will just die there with their problems because they cannot afford it. But the truth is, you have to compensate, at least even for the data bundles that I will be sitting down and explaining to you. But there are those that you can just send on WhatsApp. If you just want, what was the name of that site again? You would not expect me to tell you that you have to send me $1,000 for me to tell you that it is Dimensions AI or send you a link to that. That's not. But if I'm going to take you through a journey, a step-by-step approach on how to do something, you will have to pay something. It's not inhibitive. You can reach out to TCC. They will be able to guide you on modalities. But you can also reach out directly to me if you feel like, but I want to tell you it will not be for free. I just want to make it clear because this is academic work and it's a very expensive journey. Or Kevin, do you want to be, because most of these emails will get to you as the programs, as the programs person. So is that the start?
Yes, but also just depending on the kind of the emails that I get and the mentorship needs, we can also arrange for a group session. So it really just depends. But yes, the stance is just as Nicholas shared.
Thank you.
Kindly, this is Tabitha. How do we register for yesterday? I didn't fill the attendance list. Kindly.
Tabitha, I have shared the form with you just in the chat.
Is it the same one as today?
No, there's a different one for today. So I'm just going to share that just now. Shadrach, you as well.
Please, thank you. We are only getting the day 2 attendance list, please.
If anyone else requires the attendance list for day 1, please just tell me in the chat before in the meeting. If you have any complaints, compliments, feel free to do that in the chat just before ending. Yes, feel free to leave. I'm going to put my email here in case of any inquiries. Thank you. So 1 more minute and then I end the meeting. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.